All right, so going to do a quick update here on what we've got accomplished on the car so far. Got a little bit of progress, got some more shiny stuff underneath the hood here, but the main thing we've been doing is working underneath the car to get the subframe modified so we can make room for the exhaust and transmission. There's been some work on the torque arm area, especially at the back by the pumpkin on the Ford 9-inch. Trying to get that to clear. We've bolted stuff back in place up here, but haven't really done any modification or anything like that here. Again, everything so far has been underneath the car that we've been working on. So I'll start showing you some of that. All right, give you a little update of where I'm at here, all right? I've missed a few things in filming, but I've been really busting butt trying to get things done, and it is Christmas time, so been just sneaking out here and doing a bunch of stuff. So we got the subframe connectors pretty well done. I'm going to go ahead and make a little fill piece right here, but other than that, the subframe connectors are done. They're fully welded. Everything's good there. So the next step after the subframe connectors installs here was I needed a transmission cross member and a torque arm mount here, right? Again, this is a third gen, getting a 4L80 transmission put in it, and it's got a UMI torque arm that we're using. It's got a quick performance Ford 9-inch that's gone in it. So with all that stuff, there's nothing out of the box you're going to find that fits, so you just got to fabricate it. So anyways, I went over to my buddy Josh Gray. He's got a shop and with a tubing bender, Skyview Racing, great guy over there. Anyways, and I had him put a little bend in a piece inch and quarter tubing for me so I could do an offset for the tranny mount and torque arm mount. And so then I just fabbed up some brackets. You can see everything fits real nice. Nothing's in a bind. Transmission mount, you know, had to account for the bolt head. Let's see here. You can see how the bolt head just sneaks over the top of it. So I put this little offset right here in it. And so that makes that all nice, easy to work with. Everything is very tight in here. There's just not a lot of room for the shackle here as far as the tail housing on the transmission and on the transmission mount. Then you got, of course, your tunnel. There's just not a lot of room for all this stuff, but it does fit. Just got to be a little creative about it. So anyways, that's kind of where we're at. I'm going to take this all off today and I'm going to weld it out. Right now I've just got everything kind of tacked in place here. Just a few tacks to make it all nice and solid. Now I just got to weld it all out. And then I'll be able to move on to the exhaust on it and get that. I'll have, you know, I got my 3-inch down pipes, you know, right here and right here, and just got to get them tied into the 4-inch exhaust heading out back. Anyway, so it's been pretty productive. Just got to make a little more headway on it. I'll update you more later. All right, so here's what the exhaust is looking like underneath the car now. All right, I finally got everything all nice and tacked together. Still needs welded out, but let me give you an idea how it's laid out here. All right, got plenty of room for the oil filter. I just hate having to fight stuff like that, so I gave plenty of room for that. Got plenty of room for the shifter linkage. There's still another part that's got your park position sensor that sets up high back in here, stuff like that. But it'll clear fine. Then comes back, of course, got the Y here. Let's see if I can get back from this side here and kind of see how it Ys together, how it fits. Definitely gets a little busy once the drive shaft's in there. it'll definitely be busy with the torque arm up in here, drive shaft, 4-inch exhaust, all in the transmission tunnel of this 3rd gen. So it definitely gets tight, but it all clear. We've already test fitted it, so we're good. But I'm happy with the way it came out. Like I said, transmission cross member, everything fits good there. Got, like I said, the exhaust. We gave plenty of room for the shifter cable, so we'll fit there nice. Again, you can see where that factory subframe would have been here, right? And there's just no way it would have fit and cleared the exhaust. That's why I went to all that trouble to fit this thing. Even still, it's tight, but there's clear. I mean, there's no movement here, right? So you can see that it doesn't even wiggle. So even that close there, you never get it freaking wiggle and rattle. Same thing over here. I mean, I'm pulling it pretty hard here, and it won't flex. So got good clearance everywhere we need to have clearance. So anyways, so like I said, all I got to do now is weld it out. I've got some joints here. All the joints are fitted up pretty good. You can see how the fitment is on the joints. Everything's pretty good. I mean, you got a shadow here, but there's no gap. It's just the way that this one, whenever it's bent, and how it goes into the way this one is bent, makes a shadow there, but there is no gap. So again, just try to get it fit up as nice as you can everywhere you can. Makes for a real nice, easy weld. Anyways, so like I said, that's the exhaust on the car. So we're back to complete. Ready to start working on all the electronics now. Other than, like I said, I got to weld this out, but now all the stuff from changing to the 4L80 has been addressed, which was modifying the transmission tunnel a little bit, making a new transmission cross member, making a new torque arm mount, making new exhaust, all that stuff that was necessary to put the 4L80 in, and the UMI torque arm and the quick performance Ford 9-inch. All that fabrication now has been addressed, so we're good. That was the hard part. Now we just got to go through all the electronics and fight the little battles there, but it won't be long and this thing will be making noise again. Catch you later. All right, time for another quick update on the car. We're mainly talking about what's underneath it, getting the finals on the transmission cross member, torque arm mount, transmission mount, the exhaust all laid out. All that stuff now is completed. Still got some final welding to do, but that whole fabrication side underneath the car is now done. So now I'm going to be moving on to working on the engine compartment here, right? So I'm going to do a kind of weird setup on coils, where ignition coils, they won't be all grouped together. I'm going to do 4 locations, so 4 pairs of coils. And that'll allow me to run the spark plug wires in a particular pattern. I'll show more about that in another upcoming video here, right, as we go. I got those parts out being coated at the moment. They got the mounts already made. It's going to come out pretty good. Just going to be using the LS coils. But anyway, this video gives a wrap up to the fabrication side underneath it. So remember, I started off with having to cut out some of the factory subframe structure that's next to the transmission so I could have room to make exhaust and keep it tucked up in the car. This car's got a 1-inch lowering spring, so it sits a little bit lower on it, and trying to run 2 3-inch down pipes alongside the transmission, I would have had to hang them down pretty low to get it to clear all the factory stuff. I mean, there are companies that make um, cross members that go into the factory location, but it just doesn't allow you to um, have good exhaust clearance. So I cut out the factory structure. I welded in through floor subframe connectors, picked up the torque boxes basically is what they are, you know, the lower control arm mounts. At the top of them, inside the car and underneath, so I'm really bonded well to those torque boxes. And then, of course, welded through the floor, then tied into the cross that goes across the car, the factory bracing that goes all the way across the transmission tunnel. And I'm welded into that brace as well, and then welded into the front subframe. So structurally, I got a real good platform there, and that's what allowed me to have the room to build the exhaust. While the exhaust is pretty simple, had to move all that stuff to allow room for it. So ended up with about 4 inches of ground clearance to the bottom of a 3-inch downpipe on these cars. If you work on third gen stuff, you'll know that's kind of a trick. That's what that was all about, was to get that exhaust clearance and get that fitment on things. We're all done with that. So now we're moving on to the stuff that deals with the wiring underneath here. That's going to be the next step.